नमामि धन्वन्तरिमादिदेवं सुरासुरैर्वन्दितपादपद्मं लोकैर्जरारुभय मृत्युनाशं धातारमीशं विविधौषधीनाम्.
I would like to invite our second speaker,
Dr. B.S. extensive work on this reproductive health. I have seen his work, and in the experimental lab in the Jamnagar, how he was so sincerely dedicated, so much devoted and dedicated. He is a source of inspiration. And now I am happy to tell you that in Belgaum, his institution is so effectively earned name and fame. And congratulations to you, Dr. B.S. Prasad, for your leadership to this Belgavi Institute of Ayurveda.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
We are proud of you, my dear.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. These are your blessings.
You are Gaurav of Gujarat Ayurveda University, and now you are Gaurav of Karnataka.
Thank you, sir. All blessings of elders.
Keep it up.
Thank you. You Lord guided us to very well that time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I am privileged to introduce Professor Dr. B.S. Prasad, sir, who is presently Principal and Superintendent KLE's BMK College, Belgaum, Karnataka. He has super specialization in male infertility, Ayurveda research, teaching, medicine manufacturing and administration. He has done MD and PhD in Ayurveda with more than 30 years of experience. He has been member of many committees, including Steering Committee of Ayush for Planning Commission, Government of India 12th 5-year plan, Ayush Committee for National Education Policy, Ayush Education Committee and Ayush Grid. He has completed 8 research projects, published more than 70 articles and delivered more than 180 scientific deliberations in India and abroad. He has received many awards, to mention a few: Ayurveda Ratna, Teacher of the Teachers Award, Ayurveda Shri Samman and Best Teacher Award. I am privileged to welcome you, sir. Thank you. And I will request to present your talk on current health scenario, model healthcare system. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yogesh. I am audible, I am clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, very good. At the outset, let me thank the entire team, especially Dr. Gopal Vasisht, who is very instrumental in making a very huge task, or you can say it is a milestone activity in the history of Ayurveda. It's such a magnanimous activity was never taken place. And being a non-Ayurvedic person, he has a lot of inclination towards Ayurveda. It is a very great job he performed it. And I also thank many contributors, more than 100 contributors who contributed to the Charak Samhita. It is a very, very great activity. And especially Dr. Yogesh, who has taken a very keen interest in giving a shape to it and also upkeeping its activities very well. And in the same activity, he arranged a series of experts lectures. So he identified me as one of the experts. Anyway, let me share with this brief note. Once again, I compliment and congratulate and also thank the Dr. Gopal Vasisht and Yogesh and all the stalwarts in the field. I will come to my topic. Let me share my slides. Visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Just to make a slideshow.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So
yes.
I'll be discussing with you on the current approach towards health in society, model healthcare system and its propagation. It is entirely a new topic. Anyway, conglomeration of a few aspects are there. I'll try to justify as much I know to what extent I can present you. And healthcare system, we don't know its origin and we can't predict its end also. As Ayurveda told, Ayurveda is Anadi Ananta. So there is no origin point and end point also here. As long as the life is there on the universe, the medical system will exist on that one. So not only human beings, even animals require the health care. They themselves know it, how to heal any health issues are there. That way, the health system is part of the life also. Sometimes we can say that one. And when we see, though Ayurveda is a ready-made science given to humankind. And when we read Ayurveda Avatarana, we feel that Ayurveda was a ready-made science by the God, and he recollected and passed on to the humankind. But when you see the Samhitas, the differences in the Samhitas and the later authors' additions, all these ones, that indicates it has been developed by the study, research, observations, monitoring, likewise. Otherwise, all textbooks should have the same science, the same information only. Charaka, Sushruta, Vagbhata, they have their own verses are there, differences are there, additions are there, and later authors also have a lot of additions are there. That indicates Ayurveda also was a research based and then developed on the observationally or on the basis of research are there. That is the healthcare system, how it has come on the universe, how it is going on. Coming to the current approach of the human beings to the healthcare. So we have when we fell ill, then only we opt for the medical care. That is all our nature now. We never plan for any health prevention, etc. There are no preventive measures. So as and when suddenly heart attack comes, then they go hospitalized. Suddenly some diagnosis, some pain comes, then they go for diagnosis, and then they go for treatments, likewise. And poor awareness of diet and lifestyles. There is so much of information is there, even on the net and fingertips. Still, we read out, but we don't implement it, including Ayurvedic people, those who read very well about the Dinacharya, Rutucharya, Patya, still they also will not observe and follow it also. And we don't give a lot of emphasis on the public health also, which is very, very important. And especially Ayurveda, it gives the first part, again, prevention, promotion, etc. is there. And also public health is very, very important, but we don't give importance for it. And only we give them after say disease, then we go for the management or treatment. That is all our attitudes are there. Then vaccinations. And as many number of vaccines we are going and inventing, we are going and having for each and every problem vaccinations. At the end, we don't know how, after having some decades of these ones, we don't have body part where we cannot able to inject also. That way, situation may arise. So many vaccinations. How we can sustain that one? And then we never think of how our body can be potentiated to sustain any amount of infections, etc. We never think of in that one. Then poor utilization of technology. Though technology has taken a very great momentum, still in the medicine, especially in Ayurveda, it had to have its own impact in Ayurveda. Full step has not been taken place in Ayurveda. It had to have lot of scope in utilization of technology. And then our treatments are doctor-centric and disease-centric. Likewise, so hypertension, hypertensive. Likewise, we need to think of a person there, a diseased person, rather than we think of disease and doctor-centric. As per the doctor convenience, doctor-centric, we have treatments, modalities, all the approaches are there. Then over and above, pathis, allopathy, homeopathy, naturopathy, likewise, we have boundaries. Every system has their own boundaries, and they going on quarreling each other. And what is the patient's version? When we have everyone blames to each other, and everyone will have limitations, everyone will have other comment on these ones. What is the patient version? See, when patient says, this also is only one is visible, or is it visible clearly, Yogesh?
Yes, it is visible.
In between the small window is there, or is it clear slide?
It is clear slide, sir.
Okay. So here, when the people, what they feel is, when every system fails, allopathy, homeopathy, naturopathy, all pathis fail, go to Tirupati. That term ultimately they have to go off the God. Tirupati, that is that way. So that is the patient's problem there. He says at the end they have to go to a God and surrender to the God. That's what they says. And why we are going on quarreling, but patient do not have any boundaries or barricades in between the systems. They want only relief. Now, post-COVID public attitudes. What may be the public attitude after COVID? So now, COVID has given a lot of the thinking process there. Many people has different dimensions has been started to think in the different angles now because of the COVID. One way it's okay, there is devastation, people are feeling sick, there is a death rate is going on. But on other side, it has given a new dimension COVID. But every sector of the science or people, they started thinking in the different angles now. So in the coming to health point of view, then the people have increased awareness towards prevention promotion. Earlier they never thought of. Now people are thinking of. They are taking a lot of the preventive measures now. So definitely the people will turn towards preventive and promotive aspects now. Then inclination towards rejuvenation. They also think of rejuvenation. Earlier, only after falling sick, they go to the hospitals. Now, they don't want to fall sick, they may go to the hospitals to have the good health now. Then preference for lifestyle management. So they themselves will try to learn lifestyle management, and they may follow lifestyle managements. Healthy diet, they will show to healthy diets, a junk diet, etc. All a group of people definitely will overcome and definitely go to the healthy diet. And then preference to handheld health monitorings. Already mobiles are there now. It will give a lot of health indicators now. Maybe heart rate, maybe BP, even now oxygen also is able to tell that one. Likewise, these mobiles are going to replace a lot of diagnostics now. And again, they will be handheld. They will have continuous monitoring is possible, which can inform to their consultant what is happening in the individual continuously. So that may gain a lot of momentum now after the COVID. Then preference for self-assessment tools. For example, now assess the mental status, assess your sleep, assess your digestive power. Likewise, such tools, apps may appear more, and people opt for such apps and try to assess themselves appropriately for that one. This may be next coming days is going to happen. And then preference for telemedicine. And telemedicine is going to be a bigger way going to come now. Telemedicine, not only the consultation, but ICT enabled telemedicine, information and communication technology enabled. Now, Jugaad type of things we can see now. A doctor is sitting somewhere, he connected to a long stent there, and the patient is keeping the stent on the chest here and there, and doctor is able to auscultate from the consulting chamber very far away. But ICT enabled, these are going to be a technology based realistic will be there, where doctor can, without touching the patient, he can able to assess, he can able to examine. Then it became a telemedicine appropriately. Likewise, these are the tomorrow's the developments going to happen because of the post-COVID has given new dimensions there. It like to go to happen that one. So what will be the model healthcare system? Model healthcare system. Very broadly I gave here. The patient-centric, as I told there, a disease-centric, and they are not the doctor-centric and the disease-centric, whereas here a patient-centric and the quality care. The quality is very important there. Then preventive, promotive and curative. And then always we have the curative aspects only. Now preventive and promotive we have to concentrate more now. Then there will be a good healthcare system. And though Ayurveda told the Swasthya Swastharakshanam, then again we have Rasayana Vajikana concepts are there. But we poorly explore the Rasayana Vajikana concepts are there. Though we have two specialities of the name of Rasayana and Vajikaranam, still we are unable to explore to the full extent that one. We are copying the allopathy system, and we are restricted to the curative aspects only, not prevention promotion. So we need to highlight that one. Then holistic approach, as it will enter the human body as a complete single unit now, not the specialist wise going on thinking about only liver somebody, only heart somebody, but we need to have the holistic approach is very important there. Then integrated healthcare, we need to cross our boundaries and come together and give integrated approach at one point only. Otherwise, patient is in confusion. He go to the Ayurveda also, he go to allopathy also, he go to homeopathy also. He is taking all medicines there. A lot of confusion, a lot of side effects, interactions, so much of things happens. Other than we need to come together and we have to offer a proper health care, the integrated health care. Together, we have to at one point we have to have offer. Then technology driven. All systems should have technology driven. We need to integrate all systems, all services, everything, and technology should be taken a priority. And then we can give the effective way we can give it with a less cost also we can give it. So technology to be taken the utmost importance, and all services to be technology driven that one. Then over and above affordable. Affordable to the every category of people, maybe a poor or BPL cards, below poverty or rich people, whomsoever it is there. But it should be how the quality care should be same, but comforts may differ. You may have luxury comforts, but whereas care of the quality, there should be same uniform quality should be there across the all economical standards there. Who may be poor, very poor, but care should be same, but comfort may vary that one. Likewise, this may be as by my view, model healthcare system, this may be that one, which have all components that one. Now coming to Aish, as I'm giving that one, public health. So we have a small study in our college that I'm giving example here. Aish Public Health Initiative project we have, there is anemia in school children. In one PHC area, we screened around 6,600 children, school children, and anemia was 30%. Then we have our intervention. One is Krimkutar Rasa as a deworming, then Purnava Mandura, iron supplement, and Dakshavaleha, and again a nutrient supplement. In Punarnava, Dr. Chanjola has well explained that one, how it can regenerate again. The Punarnava, and again Mandura also there, iron supplement. So these drugs we have given. And then besides the intervention, we also conducted capacity building programs for the parents, school teachers, ASHA workers, and local doctors. All we conducted the various programs on hygiene, nutrition, hand wash, usage of local available vegetables, and then Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and then yoga. These all activities we conducted the whole area and multiple times. And then ultimately we could be able to bring down anemia to the 2%. In that area, all school children, more than 6,600 school children, 30% was anemia, and we could be able to bring down to 2%. It's a very, very successful model, and then now our state government of Karnataka is replicating this model into 2 other districts now, Yadagir and Raichur districts is going to be replicated this one. This is a very, very good success story from our college. Now coming to the patient-centric healthcare systems. Now comprehensive diagnosis and management. As I'm telling, even referrals, you go to urologist, you go to cardiologist, the patient is running here and there. Rather than patient is one point, whichever consult is required, he will come and consult, and then together have a combined opinion and given one comprehensive treatment. That is what we require there. Otherwise, he gives his own prescription, they give their own prescription. Ultimately, he cannot have breakfast, he have all the medicines in the hand. So that should not happen it now. Everybody irrelevantly going on prescribing, irrelevantly going on doing diagnostic tests, this should not happen it. So we need to redefine our education, the consulting system, where patient will be stable and where whichever the consultant is required for that one, he'll be consulting. Ultimately, a comprehensive single prescription has to be given to the patient. So that is the ideal way of giving consultation and management also. And then even after discharge of the patient, they should have continuous care should be there. Once we discharge, we don't bother with it. We give only the mobile number we give, something else we'll give, but we should have defined a system where he can be under a care continuously, so that we can have good care can be extended to the patient. Now preventive, promote and curative. I'm going very, very broad, I'm going. And as the Corona I told, now people will be more aware. Then heal by self only. They themselves want to heal. I can heal themselves, myself, self-awareness. This is going to increase in the people now. Then have the lifestyle. They're going to adopt a good lifestyles and good diet, and then individualized approach, as we Ayurveda will tell, Prakriti-based, Sara-based approach, as even Dr. Chandala was mentioning that one. So likewise, this we have to bring into practice. Achar Rasayana. It's very, very important again, unless until we modify that one in the practicable manner. Again, we replicate same quotation from the books and repeat that one, it's not going to be practicable. In the present context, in the present change in lifestyles, the present change in living conditions, in what way we have to redesign that one, then only people is going to accept that one. Otherwise, is not going to accept it. A sloka will remain a sloka, only that one. The rejuvenation packages. As I told, Rasayana is very, very well described in Ayurveda, but as the modern hospitals now, they're coming for only diagnostic checkups, health checkups are there, executive checkups are there. So that likewise, we need to bring out rejuvenation packages, maybe 3 days package, 1 week packages, 15 days packages. Likewise, we need to bring out packages. Healthy people has opt for these packages and undergo rejuvenation therapies periodically. As we have the Rutu Shodhana is there. So in the same season, we may not be able to perform because of our living conditions now. But we need to bring out a rejuvenation packages. With that, maybe the Sadhyo Virechana can be there, then Abhyanga, then some Bastis can be there, or Tarpana may be there, or Shirodhara may be there. So we need to club out all these ones. And then as per the individual, the occupation and their stress level, physical exertion, we need to customize these treatments and then bring out packages. Then people may definitely opt it, and then they may have rejuvenation also. That is the most important aspect which we need to do it. And then evidence-based medicine is going to play a major role, which we are going in talking about. But since even then we're not able to bring out single disease also with evidence-based medicine. So maybe after 10 years, I'm going and hearing that one EBM, but from Ayurvedic side, still we are unable to bring out. Then whole system approach is again very important. A few studies were there on whole system approach. Still a long way to go on whole system approach. These are going to be major areas in the next coming days. The preventive, promotive, curative, altogether I'm giving here. So these areas will be having next future. We need to think of in these lines and we have to step in that one. Then we may able to grab the opportunity also. Then integrated healthcare system. As I'm telling, medical pluralism. Patient don't bother about any pathy. He don't want. He says, I want relief. He don't want any dispensation. Ultimately, he has pain. He says, reduce my pain. This is what his version is there. But we kept our boundaries. We again quarreling our boundaries with that, and we are giving confusion. Even you see the diabetic patients, they take diabetic medicine from allopathy doctor, again come back to Ayurveda. They also prescribe, and the Ayurveda doctor cannot decide whether you stop the allopathy treatment or not, or he will you take this also. And they go to homeopathy, and they also will give some medicines. Now 3-4 systems medicines he is going and consuming. He also is confused which to stop, which to take, which to continue, which to stop it. So there is a confusion now. Now what we need to do is understand strength and weakness of medical systems, each and every systems. We need to sit across and then decide which system is very strong. For example, emergencies, allopathy is very good. Life disorders, we are very good. Likewise, we need to come together and consensus, and we have to utilize strength of one system by other systems. Wherever we are weak, we cannot have able to manage the emergency. So we take help of them, but they can't. They are not very good in the lifestyle disorders. That we are very good now. Likewise, each system's strength has to be utilized by the compensate weakness of the other systems there. Then providing integrated and efficient healthcare services at single point there. The patient should not be run. You go to homeopathy, you go to Ayurveda. All systems to get one umbrella where the patient given a single prescription. When to take allopathy, when to take Ayurveda, or when to do the integrated combined therapy, whatever it may be there. As per protocol, patient should get a single point, all the systems together, one prescription has to be got. That is what is very important to make. Then how to integrate? Identify strength and weakness of each systems. Then identify suitable areas for integration. Then developing integrated protocols, where, when, and to what extent we have to integrate. This is very, very important aspect, that one. Otherwise, people talk but never come out any protocol there. Developing required infrastructure. Sometimes you may talk it, but again, infrastructure. For example, bronchial asthma is there. Ayurvedic management, you want to do it. Unless until we have oxygen supplement along with that one, emergency management is there, you can't do it. So we have to have required infrastructure along with that one also. Or AOT management, ICU management. So we want to try that one. Then only you can have it. So required infrastructure is very essential when you think about integrated protocols. Then creating suitable human resource. Again, they have to be trained. Again, only the doctor has decided what to be, where to go integrate, when and how to, what extent. But this paramedical staff has not been informed. Then they'll be again messing. So we need to train the human resource also suitably. And then implementation and monitoring. You have to implement, monitor, again read, modify, again monitor. Then we can have a very good protocol can be developed. These were the steps to be for integration. With integration, what we can do it? Establishment of Ayurvedic ICU. As I'm telling you, when you have ICU setup is there, then you can try. For example, now when some fever case comes, we need to refer it. Some bleeding comes, we need to refer it. Something bronchial asthma, cyanosis happening, we have to refer the patient to class. So when you have ICU setup along with that one, you can have again up to emergency medicine also you can daringly try that one. Then only we can able to succeed. Otherwise, because of fear, again sometimes regulatory issues are there. When the patient die at your hospital, the question comes: why you retain the patient when you can't manage? Why don't you refer that one? So the question definitely comes there. So we need to have the backup also. So Ayurveda ICU is very important there. Then administration of Panchakarma in critical cases. Sometimes when ECG changes happens, then definitely many times it happens. My own patients also. When we took ECG, there are some changes are there. Then the Panchakarma consultant will tell, sorry, ECG changes are there. We can't perform Vamana. So next patient to post for Virechana. So this happens many times. After having Snehapana, everything over, then patient is ready for Vamana Karma. Then because of ECG changes are there, we have to postpone it. But when you have support is there, then we may be able to go for a critical cases, which we can't thought of in regular cases. There also you can go to perform the Panchakarma, the Vamana, or any other treatment in the critical cases. Similar way, stroke patients. And many times acute patients are the stroke immediately. We will keep them in the allopathy hospital, let them stabilize, then let the patient come here after stabilization, then we start treatment again. Again, response may be not good also. Then we have to have support is there, integrated approach is there, then we can manage the stroke patient together very well, which is good condition we are able to manage. Then pain management is a disease modifying, like a severe sciatica, rheumatoid arthritis, OA. When severe sciatica is there, you can't give Katibasti also, you can't give other treatments, we can't give. Patient may be pain, he can't good position, he can't assume. Decubitus is very difficult for him also. So then again, we need to go for the allopathy management or some other management, pain management also. Likewise, when you club together, then we are able to reduce the pain. Then again, our disease modifying treatment can be taken up now. And IVF, in vitro fertilization. The better implantation we can able to get in case of the IVF. When you go for Uttaravasti or Shodhana, we have performed it, then gone for in vitro fertilization. Then you may able to go for better implantation. Similarly, preconception measures also, healthy offsprings. To have healthy babies, then we can have the preconception measures also. Then we can together with have allopathy and Ayurveda different systems, we can integrate that one. These are some of the areas where we can integrate and go for benefit. Few examples I am giving here. And some the success stories are the areas where people have succeeded. Medanta Hospital, Delhi, Dr. Gita Krishnan, now who is in the WHO, he had a lot of activity and he is able to establish integrated clinic at the Medanta, Delhi. In Vagoli Cancer Hospital, Ayurvedic College, where cancer management is being done with integrated approach is there. Then Madhavbag Ayurvedic Cardiac Hospital is there. They're treating very well with the cardiac conditions efficiently there by having integrated approach. Then Ravi Shankar Parvaji, the Puttur, is independently practicing. He had Ayurvedic ICU where he'll manage all stroke patients, very serious patients, he'll manage that one. He maintained the Ayurvedic ICU. Then, as Dr. Chandula was telling, I developed the 7 analysis Reto Pariksha in the Jamnagar itself during my PhD days. Then we also developed in Belgaum, Sanya Pariksha we developed now. It is in practice now. Then wound management is going on in our hospital with integrated approach. Is having even Dushtavarnas. We get very good result. And sometimes the diabetic patient, insulin is required. The allopathy doctor will give insulin or antibiotic coverage may be required. They may give it. Likewise, then the wound management is very good with ours. So it is having very good result out there. Then we also have integrated with the Panchakarma and physiotherapy. And with this giving very good result at our center. And obesity cell again, Panchakarma and physiotherapy is the KL, it is going on. And even Narahari, Dr. Narahari at Kasargod, is having filariasis. He is very efficiently treating that one. These are some of the success stories where in front of us only, lively it is going on, where they got very good result. Otherwise, if they stick on to only one system, they can't able to do that one. Where the integrated approach is very, very essential and is it tomorrow's requirement, at least for the patient point of view, we need to leave our boundaries, come nearer, sit across, discuss it, and then develop the protocols where patient have a single prescription has to be given to the patient. This is what the need of the hour. Then enhance public health. As I'm telling, public health is very, very poorly we never thought of, but we need to implement it. In the Ayurveda, we are now, because of the corona, this all came into the surface now. Dundubi Swaniya Dhyaya. Susuta has described very well. Dundubi Swaniya. How the disinfection can be done by using the drums, the medicine coated on the drums and beating the drums, the medicine can be spread into the air. As medicine coated flags can be fixed on the environment can be disinfected. Likewise, he has given very, very simple techniques he has given where they can be taken the principle and we can go for automation now and we can bring out the technology and where the whole area they can be disinfected or depollutant can be done that one. So this can be principle can be taken up and we have to go for automated or technology can be think of. Similarly, implementation of measures as described in Jinododhamsa. Even Charaka also given very clearly. So there are several measures has been given. How air purifier, water purifier, all this be given. So these all things we need to bring into practice now. For example, Dhupana is there. It is very good technique there. Even now Corona is there. Still, we are unable to make it very well popular there, Dhupana Karma, which is very, very efficient to minimize the microbial load. In fact, we had a study in our here Belgaum itself. In the hostel, 2 rooms were taken. And we had taken the microbial load. When I given the Dhupana Karma, the entire room is disinfectant. And then it took nearly 1 week for the microbial to become the normal levels there. That is the effect of the Dhupana Karma there. Similarly, integrating weather forecasting and healthcare. When you see the Janavadhamsa chapter in Charaka, he says the doctor should have the knowledge of Desha Kala. So geoecological condition knowledge is very, very important there for the doctors to handle the, just like epidemics or pandemics. Even the water flow, the air flow, these are very, very important there. So which area it can spread to which area, next area. So which disease is going to come. And he mentions Cherakam, that before the epidemics and pandemics comes, you need to collect the medicine and kept it. That means they are able to forecast. So otherwise they cannot get it now. So this year, something is going to happen. I need to collect all the medicines and preserve it. That's what Charaka mentions. That means they having very good knowledge of the prediction, and then geological knowledge also, geographic knowledge. They have very clear knowledge. So we need to have, now we need to integrate the weather forecasting with the healthcare, because we don't have that knowledge. But again, we have insights, some satellites are there. A very good knowledge is coming now that we need to integrate with the healthcare. Then transforming Swastha training towards public health. This is very, very important. Swastha is exactly a public health only, but we neglected it and we almost become exam writing subject and becoming teachers only. They don't have anything to do it themselves only. Though we have Swastha Swastha Rakshanam, 50% of first Ayurveda is of Swastha Swastha Rakshanam, but we neglected it. We are going for only curative only. So this Swastha subject, we have to transform into the public health, which they have to handle it. Their education, orientation, hygiene, nutrition, etc., they can be done it. Environmental hygiene, occupational safety, and sexual and reproductive health, and the propagation of yoga and pranayama, waste disposal. We neglected the waste disposal systems at all. Though some municipal corporations are picking up and going on, but it is a very, very poor. That waste has to be handled very efficiently. And Dhupana, as I told, it is very, very efficient technique, but we have poorly exposed or poorly propagated that one. These are the public health point of view which we need to implement, or which in the newer areas which we have taken it up. This is one example I am giving in our college. One of the PhD student with the, as I am telling, the geographic knowledge of the doctor should have the geographic knowledge. So we developed a map of our Belgaum district, the Desha-wise map of Belgaum district. This one, the yellow color is the Jangra Desha. The red one is the Sadharana Desha, and blue one is the Anupadesha. So with the help of the Department of Geology, we could be able to design this map now. So as a part of PhD study and the survey study we have taken, which Prakriti people are more in which area. There is one study going on. Likewise, this is a very important aspect also. And now this is only example I am giving. Likewise, we need weather, so that we can predict the onsets of the maybe epidemics, etc. And then we need to prepare ourselves for the medicines. Now, if we imagine there is no Chyawanprash in the market, there is no Samshamnivadi in the market, no Sudarshan in the market, Lakshmi Vilasasa is not there in the market. All these drugs are already exhausted. Till now, people has not started taking the medicines for diseased people, only for prevention. Now, tomorrow, really, the people has become diseased, are sick, and then these medicines are going to work it out, or they are going to recommend it. Then where we are going to get the medicines. Because these are not synthetic drugs, we can't prepare in a single day in the laboratory. They have to be grown as a medicinal plants. From there, we have to pick up and prepare that one. Now, this is our condition. So, we need to have that type of knowledge, prediction, and then preparing ourselves for the attacks which is going to come there. So, well Charaka told that one, that we need to adapt and we have to develop in that sense. The technology advancement. As technology, this is very, very poorly taken up. Now we need to think a lot. Telemedicine, ICT enabled consultation. As I mentioned in that one, we have to incorporate in information and communication technology in the consultation. Then we have, without touching the patient, from distance patient also we can able to consult and we can go for medication. Telemedicine is going to hit in the medical field now tomorrow. This is going to happen now. Then medical devices. Medical devices in the modern science is gone to well extent, but in Ayurveda, even for example, you imagine Basti Yantra is a very, very important Yantra for us. Basti we says Ardha Chikitsa. Half of the treatment is Basti only. Then even now, we don't have any proper Basti equipment, Basti instrument not there with us. That is our conditions. Then now there is huge scope for medical devices. Not only scope, when you devise devices, then become very convenient. You can efficiently give the treatment also. And result will be good also. So there is huge scope for medical devices. Still, it is untouched area, unexplored area. We have our Ayurtech department. Now, recently, we come up with the Vamana Yantra, which is automated, is going on. Basic model is ready now because the students which developed the instrument, they got the top 10. They got the top 10. And now, with the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, it is being groomed them. They are going to complete the term now. So, because of that one, we are not able to bring out into the market now. Shortly, I may bring out into the market that one, the basic model, then advanced model also, you can bring it out. Likewise, there is a big scope for medical devices in Ayurveda. Then handheld gadgets, I'm telling that one. The mobiles are going to replace many things. They're going to come out with the diagnostics. There's so much monitoring and diagnostics are going to replace by more mobiles. Then people may opt for self-assessment or self-care apps. Now we poorly did that one. We have a lot of concepts are there, but it is the right time to bring out very efficient apps or models for that one. Know your prakriti and plan your lifestyle and diet. That likewise apps can be done. The people will definitely opt for it, which is properly designed. Then know your sara and plan your lifestyles. Then assess your sattva and mental strength. How we can design your lifestyle or go for counseling. Then assess your agni, assess your sleep, assess your skin, assess your hair. Likewise, these all things which public domain it can be easily made, and then people opt it and they take a proper advice also. So these are going to be the next feature for such areas are there. Coming technology again, surveillance, Arogya Setu app. Now how people has adopted it. Then IVRs, interactive voice response systems. We need to have to take the feedback from the patients. We cannot have the information continuously by calling the patient again. As and when he get time, he can use the IVRs and give the feedback or the inputs for the research point of view or a large scale information point of view. It can be used. Then machine learning and intelligence. These are going to replace many things now. Even for your practice assessment, it can be done that one. Likewise, these are going to play a big role in the medical field. And then network of specialists and online consultation as and when needed. So now, for example, some areas the specialists are not available. The telemedicine is going to play a role now. Immediately, as and when the consultation is required, urologist required, immediately any available urologist can be called into and they can take in consultation. So we need to networking of the specialist, the concerned, maybe cardiologist, a neurologist, urologist, all to be have networking of the specialist is essential. Then integration of many islands of information in the healthcare systems. So there are many hospitals having the hospital management softwares, but how much they can produce the data? Because the data integration is not there. They have only huge information available in the soft copies, but there's no output from that one. So there is a lot of gaps are there between the information islands. So these have to be integrated and make one system only. Then we can have easily acceptable, the meaningful leads can be obtained from the information. Then healthcare cards. As we have Aadhaar card, the same number or different cards with separate PIN or biometric authentication. We need to have. When the patient go to any area, any doctor, again he can carry the whole information with him only. So what all happened for him? So when he got treated, what was his investigations previously? What medication was being given to him? Likewise, whole information has to be there. So here mandatorily the information has to be entered into the soft copy, and where he can carry the card, which doctor he go there, again he can open the entire system and he can get it. Otherwise, presently we don't know what treatment was given, what investigation reports was given. Many hospitals are not giving their investigation reports are there. So this is a condition now. But we have health cards has to come there, where patient can carry his own prakriti also, prakriti, sara, nadi, etc. also along with that one. We can embed those information in the card and it can be given there. And likewise, and again reimbursement. Everything over, the patient has done for reimbursement. So you have to integrate that also, payment systems also. As and when patient is admitted, automatically information go to the reimbursing or the insurance companies, and it should be done settled automatically. So likewise, otherwise again patient has to apply. There's a long process is there. They will ask the hospital again. Hospital has to give the records, etc. So instead of that one, if we integrate, then patient may easily get the reimbursement or insurance claims. Then affordability, integration of various schemes. Not only the insurance I am telling, now the government has various schemes. Maybe Suvarna scheme is there, the Vajpayee scheme is there, the Pradhan Mantri schemes are there. All need to be integrated one portal, then easily they can be manageable there. And the insurance or preventive treatments, even for prevention. Now presently, after deceased, the treatment only, the insurance claims for treatment only it is there, not for the prevention. Now we need to come out with the preventive packages where the government can reimburse for that one. There is a very beneficial. Patient is not going to sick and cost can be reduced there. He can perform well in the office also. So we need to promote for the preventive aspects and rejuvenation aspects where we can do reimbursement or the insurance has to claim should be available for preventive aspects also. Similarly, suitable to this all socio-economical, as I'm telling, affordability. There should be uniform care, but again, every group of patient can able to afford the health care, whatever this one. In now presently, sometimes some diseases are there, patient has to go back to home with the fear, I cannot afford that one. They may be suffering with that one. For rich people are getting treatments there. So this should not happen it. What is the need? What we need to go at this point now. These are some ideas. What are the steps we have to take now? Now, development of suitable softwares and apps. As I told all these points, we need to have suitable softwares and apps. We have to develop that one. Then human resource development is a very, very major thing. In the Ayurvedic sector, except doctors, we don't have any other category in the human resource. Only doctor has to perform every aspect there. We don't have any supportive staff as an organized sector. Even nursing staff is allopathy trained. They don't know what is Panchakarma, what is Basti, what is Nasya, they don't know it. So with them we are running. So efficiency will come down. Even Panchakarma is globally popular. Still we don't have proper Panchakarma training program in that one. Few institutes are running by their own, but it is not there. A structured program is not there. The Kriya Kalpas are there. Likewise, we need to develop Ayurvedic nursing, therapist, Panchakarma therapist, Kriya Kalpa therapist, then the cooks, Patya we tell now Manda, Peye, Vilepi, who is going to prepare? They don't know it at all totally. So we need to have our own cooks, we have to have our own cooks. There are a lot of preparations told in Ayurveda for the food preparations, but we can't use because we don't have proper trained cooks are there with us. Technicians, Prakriti and Sara. I don't prefer doctors sitting there Prakriti assessment for hours together. Rather than a technician will assess Prakriti and give this patient is having this Guda predominance, where doctor can give advice to the patient. Okay, this predominance is there. You take this diet, you avoid this diet, you do this lifestyle. This many hours of sleep you have to take. Likewise, you can give the advice rather than we are spending time on the assessment and we don't give any counseling for the patient. So technician, we need to prepare a technician course where a technician is a trained technician can do the Sara and then Prakriti and he can give patiently. So from the technician course Prakriti and Sara, and then doctor can spend on the counseling part. Then pharmacist. Even pharmacy also. Even we have a big industry, but again each pharmacy recruit and trained by themselves only. They don't have trained people there. Even Rashasa Bahish Kalpana laboratory. We appoint as per CCM norms. We appoint DMLT lab technician to the RSBK department. But what he can do there? He don't know Gandak Shodhana, he don't know Marana, he don't know any Basmi Karana. So like this, he has no help at all. So we need to have our own pharmacists, our own technicians. We have to have that one. Then clinical pharmacologist, we give a lot of emphasis on the Aushadh Sevana Kala. We give prescription and go there. Who is going to implement the administration part there? It is very, very important. Along with Anupana, Sahapana, all we talk a lot in the classroom, but we can't give there. So we need to have the clinical pharmacology, their concept also, the clinical pharmacologist for appropriate administration of the drugs also. Then horticulturist, we have the herbal gardens, Draviguna department is there, and the raw material management in the pharmacy. This all will require a trained horticulturist as per Ayurveda. Then hospital administration. So doctor should not be burdened on the administration part. Doctor should be concentrating only on the clinical part, treatment part only. So we need to have hospital administrations, a separate line of management where those people taking care of the other burden and doctors is spared for only clinical management. And then medical marketing. We are poor in medical marketing. We need to have medical marketing. These are all the human resource areas where we need to design and develop the human resource. Then only our system will go forward. Otherwise, only doctors cannot do anything else. Same thing going to happen continuously. Then industry to be better organized. Industry in the sense I am telling now, as I told, even we don't have the trained people for the collection of raw materials. It's a root should be collected. Which part to be bark should be collected. Who are being trained? They don't know. Again, it's so you remove bark, the plant may die. Remove the entire roots, plant may die. So we cannot afford for that one. So we need to have a trained people who know collection of the raw material. After collection, how to store it, how to dry them, how to clean them, how to certify them, how to make them. Likewise, there is the skill sector is there. Now we need to make this all to be made a organized one. Now it is a disorganized, unorganized sector. People are quacks are doing that one. Somebody is doing that one. All this one. Because of this one, we are losing our flora and fauna. All this one being lost there. So we need to bring in an organized way. We have to bring out all these ones. The development of standard treatment protocols. So we have a lot of the everywhere variations. Every doctor has their own drugs, their own way of thinking there. But we need to bring standard treatment protocols. Very, very essential. Either somebody believe or not believe, but we have to bring standard treatment protocols. Then followed by evidence-based medicine is very, very important there. Then health informatics. We need to integrate all the informations and then make health informatics at one point. Then on fingertips, we are able to get every information, every services can be integrated. Easily we can able to manage that one. Then suitable administrative and insurance policies. As we don't have even for Ayurveda treatment itself, insurance policy is not there very clearly. So leaving about the rejuvenation packages. But we need to bring out administrative as well as insurance policies for all our services which we are going to make that one. These are some of the need of the hour, that one. Then how to propagate. This is the main point now. Then we can, what I suggest is identifying few potential institutes and bringing out of regulatory clutches. Now, when you tied our hands and you say you perform it, we can't do it. Now, there are a lot of regulatory stringents are there. We have regular strict rules are there. You have to do the same only. You can't deviate a syllabus. Same thing we have to teach. Same thing we have to be followed. Then what you do? Innovation, how it possible? So we need to have some institutions to be, at least few institutions to be brought out of the clutches of the regulatory issues, and we get complete autonomy to be given. So they can invent, they can innovate, they can design new courses. Otherwise, new things will not come out that one. So we need to have few institutions, we need to make an autonomy. They have to be given full freedom so that they can design a course there. So that reforms and innovations may be experimented. So these autonomic institutions, because of autonomy, they can experiment that one. A new course, new design. As I told, a lot of areas I identified. So those courses they can start, they can define, or new syllabus they can experiment. When it is successful, then we can implement across the country. If not there, we can do within the same only, we can modify that one. Then comes a regional dedicated skills development centers. As I'm telling, a lot of skill is important there. Panchakarma, everything there, a lot of skill is there. So there we need to have a regional centers, dedicated centers for upgrading skill training. The Panchakarma therapists go back to every 2 years and again learn new techniques, come back here. Lab technicians go there, nursing staff go there. Likewise, we should have a region wise, we need to have the skill training centers have to be dedicated where they'll give periodical training should be done. Then time bound and mandatory training. Every 2 years, he has to go for training. Likewise, we can mandatorily make that one so that a therapist will get updated time to time. And then phase in, phase out systems. So we need to phase in and then phase out. Old systems has to be slowly going on, changing that one. Then only we can bring in new systems to the existence. Then we have to make mandatory of NABH and NABL accreditation for all our establishments. Then only the quality will definitely improve it. Similarly, restructuring of infrastructure. The suitably, when we think of all these ones, we need to restructure our existing infrastructure. Then we have to integrate our technology integration. This is important again. Whatever we have, we need to integrate all technology integration. Then educational reforms. We need to bring educational reforms, the curricular reforms, whatever I am telling. So there are a lot of reforms has to be taken place. Those, the pharmacy concern, etc., may go to the pharmacy people. And the people may read about only prepared Bhasma properties instead of wasting much time on the preparation, everything there at the usual level. They go to the B Pharma or M Pharma areas. Likewise, we can have a lot of segregation can be done it. Then institutionalizing of non-institutional knowledge and skills. This is very, very important. Now, for example, Marma Chikitsa. Sridhariyam, the eye treatments are there. The cancer treatments, there are many people. Maybe in the Balendra Prakash, the Bendali, this Kerala, some people are there. So likewise, there are many people are there who are well experts in the cancer management. Likewise, your sports medicines, maybe in the Kerala is there now, the Arshad is there. Likewise, there are many people who have expertise in different areas. This is not available in the institutions. So we need to bring these knowledge into the institutions so that we can have methodical training to the people and it can propagate, it can be widely practicable. Otherwise, it's only one or two people entire India, and then how much they can serve. Again, the knowledge may go with them only. So we need to institutionalize these knowledges in the network. Then establishing center of excellence as specialty clinics. So development of standard treatment protocols and then specialty clinics, maybe cancer specialty. Likewise, if you do it, then definitely these people focus on one area, they can bring out the treatment protocols. Then redefining and redesigning Swastha Vritta towards public health. Wellness centers, rejuvenation packages, of course, this is all discussed already, so I don't spend much time. Health cards with the Prakriti and Sara Node, etc. Wherever he goes there, he have his own Prakriti assessed already in the card. Likewise, CCRS already decided that one is a very good thought. The Demon was sharing that one. He want to give every Indian the Prakriti card. He want to give that one. It's a very good idea. He had to come out. Then Ayurvedic concept restaurants. Even restaurants is a very, very important area, huge area, and hardly any people has encashed that one. So we need to think of the Ayurvedic restaurants also. A few of things. Now, then what we do is we have to develop a strategic plan, Vision 2040 or 2050, with clearly defined objectives and implementable strategies, along with specific timelines. With this time, this has to be completed. Likewise, we have to come out with a 2040 or 2050. We have to come out. Then we have to march ahead with the same clear vision and objective. Then only we may be able to achieve the goals. This is what my ideas. Thank you very much for the opportunity given to me. I don't know how much I justified. So very good. Once again, I thank Dr. Gopal Vasisht, the Yogesh, and all the stalwarts, and also blessings that Dr. Chandula was mentioning that one. I'm very thankful for all my teachers who has given me this knowledge and all this one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Actually, when the topic came to our mind that who can speak on the model healthcare system, the person who has executed his ideas in healthcare sector in Ayurveda was you. And you are running successfully the KLE hospital. We know the growth, we have seen the growth and development of that hospital. Thank you, sir, for elaborating the vision document 2040-2050. And there are so many ideas you have given to us, so much work to be done in near future for Ayurvedic scholars, especially, when the whole essay competition and this talk series event was started, one of the goal was to turn the mind of Ayurvedic scholars from disease care to health care. We had two speakers today, Professor H.M. Chandola sir. He has been instrumental in developing the international journal AYU on the PubMed platform. He has given the light for publication, and you have given the light for clinical research and development in that field. The process, I think, it has been started already, as I have seen some comments from Dr. Jay Prakash Ram, who is in the system of CCRS as a research officer. He has commented that most modern physicians see patients through lab investigation reports than directly. Why? Is this improvisation of lack of clinical expertise? Our ancient areas has given Darshan Pariksha. They have been assessing health status by Darshan only. The second query, there is some queries also, and the query is about integration or amalgamation. Which one is better? He has, in a light mood, he has said that integration is marriage or live-in relationship. So, and one more query is, historically, Ayurvedic physician used to manage war injuries. Then why don't we have effective management options? And artificial intelligence, robot doctors, or natural intelligence healthcare. What is the future, and what would be the better future? So this process of thought has been stimulated by you all. Thank you, sir. If you can elaborate on these queries, I request you to share your thoughts, sir.
Okay, good, very good. Yeah, thank you very much for the good words. And of course, they rightly pointed out by many speakers, the audience. The technology definitely totally will not replace, but it will sharpen our diagnosis. For example, now if you think of MRI, CT, definitely it has improvised our diagnosis now. There are many critical areas. It was helped a lot. So again, we have lost that precision. Maybe Charaka was very efficient in handling and diagnosing that one, but we have the continuity was not there. The same knowledge was not given to us. And now we are connecting the dots, which are there, the quotations, slokas are there. They're taking that one again, modern explanation. We are connecting your dots and we are relearning that one, re-establishing the science in what way they thought of. And sometimes we don't get the exact meaning what they was desiring and what we are doing. We may not wrong also. But definitely, this advanced technology has helped a lot for the diagnosis precision there. Again, ultimately, from Ayurveda, you need to have Vata Pitta Kaphas are there, assessment of the clinical condition, definitely it is there. For example, now, the stroke patient is there. There is hemorrhage is there, deviation is there, something else are there, it is going to give. Ultimately, you have to come with the avastha is Vata avastha, Pitta avastha is there, the acute condition, or his Kapha avastha is there, which condition is there. You have to decide that one and you have to go for your own management only. But this MRI will going to refine you which area affected. Again, prognosis also can be predicted very well rather than blindly. That way, it can't replace it. Even robotics also. Ultimately, the physician make a higher hand because he knows the comprehension. He can have that one. But in the body, inside the body, he can't go it at cellular level also. Now, as we have pre-diabetics, we can able to diagnose that one. But whereas there, Ayurveda, if you see that one, ants are going to the diagnostic technique was given. Then urination was there, ants are attracted. Then you diagnose Madhumeha was there. When one of my colleagues, Dr. Kiran Gaudam, who is the principal of the Ayurveda College, he done experiment on that one, and he told the brick red urine color, the brick red urine sugar, then only ants are being attracted. Now, when you see the urine sugar, you are able to diagnose very early condition now. The technology, and we depend on only ants only. That means very advanced condition we are able to diagnose, then we are unable to treat also. So likewise, the pre-diabetics now, HbA1c has come, the pre-diabetics you can able to diagnose. So you can prevent the way answer to diabetes. Likewise, definitely the technology has given a lot for us now. And then as I'm telling Reto Pariksha, I don't know. So for example, I taken my PhD topic on the Vajikaran topic, without my knowledge, without my capacity, I taken. Then I started thinking out how examine Reto Pariksha. Ruksha is there, Ruksha Retas. I went to every teacher, many teachers. Nobody was able to give me the clue how Ruksha can be assessed in the semen. This is dryness. Dryness is a liquid. It is as I am having in front of me semen is a liquid form. How I can assess the Ruksha dryness in that one? That was my question. Later on, the pH I could able to correlate that one. Likewise, technology will definitely help a lot for assessment in the Ayurveda itself. Is there. So as I told Stanya Pariksha, we did now. My intention is I want to add Ayurvedic laboratory along with blood test or other test. You can give at the end Ayurvedic parameters there. Maybe as a now Ruksha, picture rates, etc. It gives a direct clue for the treatment, how to select the drugs there. Likewise for Stanya, for all parameters also, we need to add that one. So that way it is very, very important. So technology definitely helps a lot. Again, you have limitations, but ultimately human knowledge is going to overtake that one with your comprehension, how you can do that one. And another question was there in concern to the integration. I don't know, word meaning is of that one. I say you have to come together to both systems. Either you get say married or integration or amalgamation, whatever. I am not going to discuss about the word meaning, but they have to come together and give for one common prescription to the patient. For example, I'm telling bronchial asthma is there, status asthmaticus. You can't manage now. You have the ICU setup, oxygen, etc. And then after one stage, you can decide, okay, you can go for local Sthanik Abhyanga with Karpura Taila or whatever Taila, maybe go Saindavad Taila, go for Nadi Sveda, expectorant, you go for it. Or we have we had one bronchiectasis case with the physiotherapy club together. Postural drainage. We have made that one. Physiotherapist has come, they give the postural drainage. Whereas we have given for them expectorant. Maybe the Siddhapra, the Churna with again Tankana Basma as something else we have given so that we have expectorant well. But whereas they facilitate for the postural expectoration, physiotherapist now. So likewise, we club together, then we can have more efficiency can be done there. That way, we need to come together both the sciences there. Is what I want to share.
Yes. I hope it is the question, the thought is solved now, because we should have win-win situation with the contemporary science and Ayurveda, so that we can build a better future for a patient-centric future and seeing the strength and weakness of each field, as you have said in your presentation. So that was wonderful presentation. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Dr. Gopal Basisht sir to share his thoughts. Sir, unmute yourself, sir. Please unmute yourself.
What V.S. Prasad said, his execution strategy is incredible. And that is why he is so successful. And I think his present appointments and all those things are going to help the country very much. I feel that. I really admire both of you, and especially I would like to say Dr. Chandola, the presentation was so crisp, so practical, that I think it should be seen several times to get better clinical providers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
So much, sir. Thank you. We will end the A4
Oh, yes.
today.
Thank you.
Will
Thank
it-
you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We will have presentations tomorrow to
Yes.
conclude by Dr. Kishore Patwardhan and Dr. Supriya Bhalerao, who will enlighten us, the scholars, about applied researches and how to write with scientific impact. So I request you all to join us tomorrow also. And I thank both of the eminent speakers today for enlightening us with the knowledge and wisdom. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.